By bringing together professionals and experts, we aim to enrich the knowledge of our young leaders, empowering them to drive the transition to a net zero carbon future in the energy and in the industrial sectors. Our session commenced with an intergenerational panel discussion, a space where the voices of youth, seasoned with experts' insights and regional and international perspective, and also we delve into a multifaceted challenges and opportunities that define this transition. We address vital topics, including the principle of just transition, climate justice, energy security, climate adaptation and resilience, and the profound impact of conflicts and political instability on a systemic transformation of our region. Our esteemed panelists will explore the rules of national and regional law, regulations, and policy frameworks in shaping the journey toward net zero emission in the MENA region. Together, and we will examine the implementation of just a transition, its mechanism, and bringing together the bioeconomy and the circular economy transformative impacts on our regional economy. Following this insightful discussion, we embark on an interactive learning exercise known as the Green Jobs Policy Challenge. This engaging activity aims to allow the participants to come together and creating a comprehensive of the role of the green jobs that the green jobs is playing in addressing environmental challenges. We hope to cultivate a deeper appreciation for the significance of the green industries, and our game will be super fun and super beneficial also. As we embark on this transformative journey, we encourage you to actively engage, share your perspectives, and of course, forge lasting connections. Together, we can pave the way for a sustainable future in the MENA region and beyond. Thank you for joining, and I ask you kindly to join us after this session at 10:30 in Dahran room, new. I will know the name of the room itself, but at 10:30 you could join us there to this policy game. And I ask our esteemed panelists to join the stage to start our panel discussion and intergenerational dialogue. Ricardo, here? Yeah. Greetings, everybody, and may I ask our great audience to come over here for a while. It's a wide stage, and we want to see you, and we want you to engage with us. So it would be great if you come to the closer rows. First of all, I'm so happy to be with the amazing panelists here and to talk about the future and also the role of youth in navigating the just transition. It's a great opportunity to hear the expertise of the organization and also to listen for the youth perspectives. And first of all, I would love to start by a round of introduction for each of our esteemed panelists. I would start with Benjamin. Feel free to give an introduction about yourself and what we are doing.
Great. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Benjamin. I'm a youth advisor to the UN Secretary General on climate change. And I'm also working on a Student Energy Summit, which is the world's largest youth-led conference on energy transition that will take place right before COP28 in Abu Dhabi and in Dubai in just 2 months.
Thank you so much, Benjamin. Ricardo.
Thank you very much for having us here. I represent MENA, the International Renewable Energy Agency, where I lead the work on youth engagement, in addition to also other stakeholder engagement initiatives. And I really look forward to the discussion today and to have also much more young people involved in the second part of the event.
We look forward to it. Ola.
Thank you so much for having me. My name is Ala Al-Haj. I am a Syrian activist. I'm a Youngo representative and the the MENA focal point for the Chemicals and Waste Youth Platform. I'm also an Alcoy, the first Alcoy Syria host. So I'm so honored to be among all these amazing speakers. Thanks so much.
So we have youth, we have organizations, and we have also innovators. Archie, feel free to introduce yourself.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Thank you so much to the MENA Climate Week, Irina, all the partners. It's really a pleasure to be here. I'm Arshia Ayub Muhammad, CEO of Oxygenate Bamboo. We are in the provisioning of bioengineered bamboo trees for carbon sequestration and production of renewable energy. It's really a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And Dochi?
I'm Ahmed. Thank you very much. And thank you very much for the partners for organizing this panel. I'm Duccio Mariatenti, and I'm team leader of energy at the UNDP Rome Center for Energy Transition and Climate Action, implementing also the Youth4Climate initiative.
Pleasure to have you, Dochi. Walid.
Good morning, everyone. So my name is Mohamed Walid Jomni. I'm from Tunisia. And today I represent the Arab Youth for COP initiative, as well as I'm part of the group of young negotiators in Tunisia, where I lead the negotiation at the COP on climate finance and loss and damage. And so happy and excited to be with you today.
Thank you so much. Well, as you can see, our esteemed panelists are having a diverse backgrounds, and we are pleased to have this intergenerational dialogue to foster this discussion between the perspective of the youth and how we are engaging in navigating the just transition, especially in MENA region. I would start first by asking you, Benjamin, student energy is an amazing example of renowned for its commitment of empowering the young individuals in the MENA region and or generally in the energy sector. In this context, the MENA region just a transition towards greening economies, or if you are talking about the green economy in MENA region, how do you see that? What are the unique challenges that we face here in the region, and what are the opportunities that we could identify?
Thank you, Mohammed. Thank you so much for this question. And it is very clear from what Secretary General has put forward as his acceleration agenda that it never before we knew so well who needs to do what to meet the goals of the Paris Agreement in halving the emissions by 2030 and achieving net zero by 2050. And all segments of society have a key role to play in this process. Young people are people under 30 years old are over 50% of the world's population. And here in the MENA region, they have one of the highest shares of all regions. And that's why engaging young people, it's not only an opportunity, it's an imperative, it's a necessity, because they are really the ones who are going to be the core of our society. They already are, and they will be in the years to come. So you're asking about engaging young people and the challenges and the opportunities that they face. I come from Poland, a country where 80,000 people are directly employed in coal or coal-related industries. It is a country where coal sector is a big political and economic force. Now, in the face of the climate crisis and also economic conditions around the coal sector, it is clear to everyone that this sector needs to be phased out. And so I think the work on just transition in my country can be informative for how other countries that intend to phase out or phase down fossil fuels can go around it. And capacity building and training for young professionals and students is a critical part of this process. I think we're already seeing around the world how young professionals are really leading the way in transitioning to green industries in many different ways. First, they are choosing university majors and professional training programs that set them on a pathway to work in renewable energy sector, green hydrogen, or other professions that are related to energy transition. So there is this demand-driven shift towards training programs and university degrees in industries of tomorrow. And I think there is a clear role for policymakers and decision makers to have in facilitating this shift and in providing those new programs that prepare people for industries of tomorrow and not industries of yesterday. Now, on one hand, we have this big picture educational focus. On the other hand, there's a lot of bottom-up initiatives that young people are leading, and it's so critical to empower them and provide them with an opportunities to develop their projects. The initiative that we are leading in the UAE, the Student Energy Summit, will be the world's largest youth-led conference on energy transition, and probably the largest youth-led conference ever organized in this region that focuses on this topic. And so it has been a process that took more than a year to rally the stakeholders, to gather the support, to gather interest from people around the world. IRENA has been one of the fantastic partners, and we are very grateful to them, as well as the UAE Ministry of Energy and Infrastructure, along with our headline sponsor, the Bezos Earth Fund, who have really enabled this event to come together. And we are so excited to welcome 650 young people from over 140 countries in Abu Dhabi on November 30 for this fantastic gathering. Now, there is more demand that we could meet. We received over 5,000 applications from around the world. So there's thousands more of young people who are thirsty for opportunities, who are thirsty for knowledge, who are thirsty to join this sector. And I think with all of us here in the room, we need to work together to create those opportunities for them.
Well, thank you, Benji. I think you mentioned a lot of interesting topics, and because you mentioned that at the end of your answer that you were partnering with IRENA, and we have Ricardo here from IRENA also. So it's a good transition to ask you, Ricardo, since we are fostering now an intergenerational dialogue, and we are trying to create a space for knowledge sharing between experts and youth, and also we are talking about the renewable energy shift. IRENA is playing a crucial role when it comes to this topic and idea. How does IRENA see young innovators shaping the renewable energy future in MENA region?
Thank you very much, Mohammed, and thank you also, Benjamin. We as IRENA, we really love and like to partner with the youth-led organizations such as Student Energy, and of course also with other partners that are also here today in the panel and as part of the Youth4Capacity initiative. With regard to IRENA and the work that IRENA has been doing on youth, we have started some years ago in 2018 with some pilot initiatives aiming at increasing our outreach to young generation. As part of this short but very intense journey, we have been also taking into consideration the request, the call that was coming from our youth network throughout the different years. And by this year, we decided to launch a new initiative, which is targeting, in particular, startups. Youth-led startups in particular, from different regions, from different also with different backgrounds, with different also objectives, but of course all looking towards the Paris Agreement goals and also Sustainable Development Goals. As IRENA, we think that youth and youth-led startups have to be at the center of the energy transition. We can see very passionate young people working on different areas of the energy transition, but as IRENA, we really think that we need to bring young people to as part of a platform where they can really showcase the solutions that they are working on. They can really showcase how they also envision the pathway to reach sustainable and climate-related goals. With regard to the MENA region, we have seen also very brilliant ideas, very brilliant startups that are led by young people, which are already making a difference. Later, as part of this panel, you will hear also from one of our participants of the New Gen Accelerator program that we launched in May, what they are doing in the region. But there are many other examples. And of course, this is key for us to also showcase what they are doing to bring them also to this kind of initiatives and capacity building opportunities. From one side, again, we are promoting the solution itself, but from the other side, as Arena, we want also to ensure that their ideas are also captured by young people. What we have shaped as Arena, especially as part of this New Gen Accelerator program, is related to also a need to change the approach that we see in the society. When sometime you, especially me, has not anymore young person interact with the senior experts or senior manager, I do see that they consider young people only with regard to what they are saying. So we have been talking and listening a lot that young people have to be heard, which is absolutely what we do as Arena. But at the same time, we really want young people to show what they are doing, not just saying what they would like to do, but to show what they are doing. And that's why we think that having regional champions, such as our new gen participants, is key in order to disseminate what they are doing, but also hoping that other organizations are going to replicate the same approach. Coming back to the region, I will say that there are many best cases in the region from Saudi Arabia as well, from the UAE, which are, I think, some leading countries with regard to youth engagement, also from a technological perspective, so related to innovation. But I think that governments and organizations as Arena have to come together and to further support their work. A very relevant aspect of this, of course, is not related only to outreach and to providing them capacity building opportunities, such as the Youth4Capacity, for example, and the New Gen Accelerator program, but also the Student Energy Summit will be an amazing capacity building opportunity for many of the young people that will be here. But of course, there is also a need to ensure that other stakeholders are able to provide also a financial support to make young people ideas a reality, to ensure that they can also be replicated within the same communities, but also within other regions. So as Arena, again, we really call on young people to continue their work, to reach out to Arena, the other organization, in order to ask for more and to really construct and build together a sustainable pathway which will be promoting their solutions. Again, we really think that young people are the solutions, although we are also sure that there are some challenges that need to be faced also by senior people.
Thank you so much, Ricardo. I think a lot of interesting things that you tackled when it comes to building the youth capacity, when it comes also to support the innovation, but the word that stuck in my mind from what you said is letting the young people showing what they can do. And I believe we have a great example here. So I will jump to Arshi. Actually, she is CEO and founder of Oxygenet Environmental Consultant LLC in UAE. And she is one of Irina New Gen Accelerator program. So what Ricardo mentioned right now is a real example that we have. So I want you, Arshi, to introduce what you are doing.
Thank you so much. And it's really a pleasure to be a part of the Arena's New Gen Accelerator program. Very few institutions have the pragmatism, inclusivity, and the far sight to promote intelligent, nature-based solutions. And one of them at the apex is IRENA, with the leadership of the UAE government, Naina Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, the UAE president. We as a company are provisioning bioengineered bamboo trees for carbon sequestration at a very massive rate, exponential growth rate, 1.5 feet per day. And these clones are regenerative, so they constantly keep growing from their shoots. We never replant them on the same patch of land. They grow on their own for the next 50 to 100 years. Now, the most important aspect being this massive carbon sequestration is decarbonized into renewable energy. There's a lot of dialogue about the G20 alliances on biofuels. Bamboo tree produces bioethanol, biofuels, green electricity, clean coal, and also now hydrogen from bamboo. Now, bamboo biomass cannot be converted into oil directly, but bamboo fuel can be. And now there are technologies which are utilized by large corporations to produce oil from bamboo. So it's really such a huge, vast sector, because not only is a tree which is regenerative, growing very fast, sequestering carbon dioxide, reducing temperature by minimum 5 to 6 degrees, utilizing wastewater for cultivation, producing renewable energy, is a 100% replacement to plastic, 100% renewable, biodegradable, and is just planted once in your lifetime, minimum. So what are we really losing in terms of cost to benefit ratio? There is no maximum benefit that can be quantified. And that is the reason why we're very pragmatic about the merit of this particular tree, the merit of this particular product, and the merit of this solution to the world. I'm really optimistic about how the implementation can happen worldwide, because we are now taking this not just from the Middle East, but also to different countries with the support of IRENA and the New Gen Accelerator program. There is so much interface between policymakers, between the public-private sector, in terms of understanding how the agendas could assimilate and find a common ground for implementation. So it's really a great time to be here. And of course, at the MENA Climate Week, we see a lot of interest and understanding in terms of amalgamating the agenda for bamboo as the next disruptive technology for global warming. Thank you.
Thank you. Wow, amazing work. And I will also to start from what you said and go to Ola, since you were talking also about the space for talking with policymakers, getting the space to get knowledge, understanding the context and to scale up the innovation. I want to go now for you, Ola, as you're representing Yungo and you are considering the challenges that the just a transition facing in MENA region. The advocacy role is crucial to ensure that there is a move when it comes to the participation of youth, when it comes to ensuring that there is a seat on the table, and of course, in facing the environmental challenges. When it comes to that, what specific challenges and opportunities does our region present in this context?
Okay, so like I need to speak up in a good mic because I wasn't able to hear the other speakers. That what I got from you, I can build on. So let me first, based on the things that I've been seeing in the last couple of days, this question is really important to put the MENA rule and to put the MENA voice on the table, because when we're speaking about MENA, we're not just speaking about the country that's handling the good climate action, like the United Arab Emirates or like Saudi Arabia, which is an amazing countries to be inspired from. But if I'm gonna be representing the MENA region, I'm gonna be representing the least represented countries in a climate action globally. So, for example, Syria or any conflicted areas from the region that we're not able to be a part of this kind of transition, even in energy or any kind of transition or in any field. So for this moment, I'm going to take this platform to raise the challenges that we face as youth from these countries. So, like, first of all, the main thing that we face as a youth from this country is the instability situation that we have in our countries to be able to be effective or active in such a field. For example, in conflicted area, there is no infrastructure for us like to be build on our like plans or whatever it is. The security thing, which is something also to take into consideration. We're speaking about youth being able to speak up for their needs or for their demands on, okay, we need this in this field, or like as like many panelists said as well, which is giving people and youth the platform to speak up for what they are doing. So, for example, let me give you an example. I started a project in a like it's been a year since I started my project, which is called RICO. RICO project works on like empowering youth from Syria. Like it's been like 1,000 now in different activities. So what the thing is, with the challenges we faced, like to build on, we needed to start from scratch. There's no data base to build on. There is no infrastructure. There is no collaborative work between the entities of the government to take the like to help us build on. There is no like the paperwork, the visa issues. The thing is, like, just like those people who need to speak up for their needs, they can't because of this logistical thing, which is like it's really how can I say it? It's really like logical to have it, but we don't have it, like the database. Okay, what we need like to base on, like if you're gonna have a transition in energy, okay, what's the data we have on energy? If we're gonna have like a transition in economy, what the data we have like about our economy? We don't have this. So it's really critical for us to start engaging effectively. Even though there's a really important thing that it's funny like to say it, but like it's really important to bring it to the table. Like I came here in a good way. It's a miracle to be here as well, because I am Syrian. I live in Syria, so to came here is a miracle. So, but the thing is, the only thing that I was thinking of, okay, I'm gonna be in Saudi Arabia, I'm gonna have electricity to think about the thing that I need to do after I came to Syria, because in Syria we don't have electricity. So it's the basic thing that we always think about, so that prevent us to be engaged effectively. So those basic things, surviving things. So it's really critical for us to be engaged in this as well. But those are the challenges, but like not many of them. Like there's more, but like this is what I like the timing help us. But like there's more critical opportunities as well for us in the region to take into consideration, because like as Benjamin said, like there's a growing population of youth. There are like also like a good like how can I say it as well? It's something in us as youth from the region about resilience. And we need like we are ready to adapt to whatever it takes us, like the situation is. So if there's a transition and in energy, we adapt to it and we like build skills on it, but we need like support. But like as youth from the regions like Syria, Iraq, Yemen, and other MENA countries, and including UAE and Saudi Arabia, the thing is just we need like those support of capacity building, empowering local communities to speak up for their needs, because what suits Saudi Arabia doesn't suit Syria. What suits United Arab Emirates doesn't like fit in Egypt, for example. So we need like to take those needs from the local people, local youth, and bring it to the table. And then have like there is a really critical thing that I've been thinking in the last couple of days. There is lots of talking about technologies and how everything like technologies and AI and whatever, but in the cases like in the MENA region, some of the countries that are conflicted, we don't like need a massive transformation in energy or technologies. We only need like at the first step to have a low capacity technology approach. So like at first we need like the low capacity, low approach, and then we can build on to the to the next step. So this is something we can start with.
Great.
There is also suggestions and opportunities for international organization to help us in such process, which is providing and promote dialogue and like securing the platform for those young people to present their ideas and feeling that they are listened to and they are like okay to speak up for this. So one thing that we always like for youth from those countries, we're like, okay, if I speak up for this, do I feel secure to speak up for this? So it's really like critical for us from the youth from this country.
Definitely.
Yeah, like we can work in hand, like collaboration and like it's been said many times during the event, collaboration between international, local, private, government. It's really important for us, like as to feel empowered and to give whatever it takes to build the next generation transition. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you, Ola. Ola actually brings many serious challenges and also opportunities. And that's a very questioning part regarding the resources, the availability of the resources, how the youth in different countries with different capabilities can be part of a movement. And I see what Ola is doing is brilliant because we worked together in a certain point, and definitely in some countries without this much of resources and in a conflict areas, it's not that easy to bring to the table innovative solutions or even try to advocate for topics that might be luxurious when it comes to the resources of the country itself. So thank you, Ala, for bringing this, and I think it's critical when it comes to designing any programs, when it comes to designing policy and instruments, and also when any actor working on just a transition, it's not that easy to ask some people from a conflict country that you should go for renewable energy while they cannot provide the electricity for themselves. So it's basically an important thing to tackle. And from this, I would like to move to you, Dutchy, when it comes to your expertise in energy at UNDP, Rome Center. And since you were upcoming Youth for Climate flagship program will be in Rome. And I would like to ask you, from what you heard and also from your perspective, how you envision the MENA region paths toward just a transition, given the diversity in the MENA region, given the different capabilities of the countries, and also when it comes to the insights that shaping the policy frameworks, how can we ensure the young voices are integrated in the decision making?
All right. Well, I think that UNDP, first of all, recognized the central role of youth in green transition. And this is both in two dimensions when it comes to youth as beneficiaries of our projects and youth as also implementers of what our program and our initiative. And Youth for Climate is a comprehensive initiative that actually try to mainstream and address these two dimensions actually that we intend to these two dimensions of our approach. I think that like when it comes to the role of youth in decision making, this is a critical issue that we have to tackle, and is obvious and is a matter of fact that the most ambitious set of public policy and frameworks are the ones that have been shaped and are shaped by who is going to beneficiary of this public policy. No? And in that sense, youth are the next generation will be the one. As a UN agency, I think that we have to target both government and both youth when it comes to replying to your question. No? When it comes to government, for sure, we have to be more ambitious on NDC. So try to, revise when we revise, implement when we implement, and assess when we assess the NDC in a way that youth are placed at the core of this important piece of public policy. No? Youth have to be at the core when it comes to consulting them, when it comes shaping the policy, but when it comes also to assessing the NDC in a way that they comply with the fight and with what youth have to be at the core. And then we, for sure, there's the target on youth law that is an agency have to do, that is basically equip them of the necessary tool and training to act in a meaningful way when it comes to advocacy, when it comes to be able to participate to this public policy making. I think that these two dimensions are very essential.
Sounds great. Thank you. Thank you so much, Dutch. And I think this is taking us directly to Walid, since you are a youth negotiator. And while talking about engaging youth in decision making, and Dutch mentioned the programs, and we talked about the resources, we talked about different things. What I want you to address here is how can young people effectively engage in decision making? You are a negotiator, and you know how the policy making process is going to be, and of course the policies related to the youth in MENA region needs a lot of enhancements. What initiatives or programs that do you think it's crucial to bridging the gap between the youth-led innovation and the decision-making bodies in our region?
Okay, thank you so much, Muhammad, for your questions. So first, I would like to say that I was a bit privileged in the previous 2 years to be a negotiator within the Tunisian government as a negotiator, but I think the way is quite far to reach what we expect as youth. Since what I can notice during these big events is that the number of young negotiators within the negotiation tables is so small. So we are trying more and more to foster the initiative we had in Tunisia, which is the group of young negotiators that we started 2 years ago. And now we are 15 or 16 members in the group, and we are leading the negotiation on behalf of Tunisia. So maybe I can have some highlights or some remarks about these experiences, the challenges we had. So first, maybe what I can notice is the first pillar, which is about to having a strong capacity building for all the members. Since many of us in the group will have some technical knowledge about adaptation, mitigation, loss, and damage, but we are lacking about the skills of negotiation, the skills to go and interact with others and have some concrete proposals, some concrete decisions. So I guess having some strong capacity building for youth on both the technicalities, loss and damage, trying to mainstream the knowledge and go very deeper within the technical we use as a negotiator. For example, what I can say is that the first scope I was so lost. A lot of terms, GTA, GST, adaptation funds, a lot of funds. But after and through the collective efforts of the group, we tried to every one of us was having an expertise in different areas, so we tried to help each other to bring some experts from the MENA and from the south or the north. So we managed it in a period of 2 years to have a strong background about what's happening. And I can assure you that the things and the information that are shared in the social media or in the reports or anywhere are very different about what's happening in the negotiation room. So for example, for climate finance, it's not the same kind of information we all know. So first, we should start, as I have said, with climate education. Second, to build a stronger relationship with decision makers, since it's not enough to just give the youth the capacity building, but you should maybe showcase the successful initiatives that are running in the Arab region to encourage the leaders to integrate the youth. In many countries, the negotiation is running by the Ministry of Environment. Others are running by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. There is special programs to recruit negotiators, but it's super crucial to showcase the successful experiences to go and encourage these leaders and maybe give them the incentives to make youth integrated within the decision making. I can see also within the Arab region, there is a lot of initiatives that are happening and that are successful, like, for example, Yangu, like the UAE initiatives to have 100 young negotiators. And I really encourage that and would be happy to collaborate with them and to foster the knowledge we had within the previous 2 years. Also, I think the third main point is to organize and mobilize the young people to have some special programs that bring all young people together to regroup this youth and regroup the initiatives and not make all initiatives work on individual basis, so we can share scientific backgrounds, so we can share expertise, so we can, even in the negotiation table, when we go in the COP, for example, and we have a lot of young people, we can even go and work on decisions that are now struggling, like in so many items like climate finance, for example. We are trying to collaborate with other youth since they are more open to discuss all the options, all the positions, and I felt that not like the older generations, like there is some obstacles when it comes to negotiation. And finally, where I can see that using the creativity, the ambition of youth, we do have a lot of innovators, entrepreneurs, of creative minds in our region, and we can foster that through different kind of forms. For example, through creating climate action, for example, councils. We are doing that through, for example, the UN initiative with the UNESCO Youth Climate Action Network, and we are trying to regroup all the networks around the world working on climate action. Second, maybe the Youth Climate Innovation Funds. Also, I can highlight some experience. So now we are collaborating with a startup called Hero, and we are working on providing funds for climate activists, negotiators through crowdfunding. So there is a lot of innovative initiatives when it comes to climate finance. So we can build on that and try to regroup these initiatives to foster and to have more climate funds going to encourage people, entrepreneurs, negotiators to participate in this kind of events, or even to invest in their project and startups. And finally, maybe to build more on the youth climate mentorship programs, to have to go and address the needs of the youth, to try to be innovative, not just to have some capacity building in person or online, to go further, to go and learn about future thinking, foresight thinking, design thinking as well, to go and see how we can deal with the climate action in an innovative way and go a bit far from the traditional model of just having an online or in-person session of knowledge that we can go as a youth and seek for the information on internet, for example.
Thank you so much, Raleed. And I will take this and also to say that showcasing is important, as Walid mentioned, and the struggles that facing the young people to participate, to be on the table when it comes to the finance, when it comes to the logistical arrangements, it's critically part of the advocacy plans that all the stakeholders are trying to do and accommodate. I would love to get back, but first, again, go to showcasing. We have a small video showcasing one of the youth-led energy projects that shortlisted through the Youth4Climate call for solution in 2023. Its name is Baghdad Dail, and I would likely to kindly ask the team to start the video so we could showcase this video, then back to the esteemed panelists.
Hi, I'm Baghdad, 28 years old, bachelor's degree in pharmacy, entrepreneur and owner of the project Baghdad Dail Pharmacy, interested in health, alternative energy, and environmental issues. Today, I'm going to tell you about my project. What are the most important struggles and obstacles, and how UNDP contributed to helping me overcome them. My innovation is smart road pump that converts the kinetic energy of vehicles into electrical energy, that is stored to be used for several uses, with an easy and high quality mechanical mechanism. Okay, let me start with the most important.
Okay, so back to the panel again and our flow. I would go for you again, Benjamin. And from your experience with student energy, how can educational institutions and organizations collaborate to equip the young individuals with the necessary skills and knowledge to lead the energy transition? and specifically in MENA region, and how also the students' energy plan to support and amplify these efforts. In 2 minutes, please.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think that education is critical even before we get into career opportunities, jobs, because if there's one thing any person should and can do is to educate themselves. Because if we educate ourselves, we know what we need to do. That's a question that young people often ask. What is my role in the energy transition? What is my role in climate action? And when we learn about this topic, it really becomes clear. And I think each of us in this room feels what is the right thing for them to do, what kind of career they want to pursue. Um, I think for educational institutions in the MENA region and beyond, uh, for anyone to prepare young people for being a part of energy transition, two things are critical. First of them is critical thinking. I think there is definitely need for transfer of knowledge, but what is also perhaps even more important is to help young people become independent learners and critical thinkers who are able to go be out in the real world and uncover the truth and speak truth to power, because it's we are all, the world is aligned on the goals of the Paris Agreement. But unfortunately, there is a lot of misinformation. There is a lot of greenwashing. There's a lot of people who are trying to push young people to work in a direction that does not promise us meeting those targets. And so I think every country has its own political and economic circumstances that needs to be navigated, and each country have different ways for young people to be involved. But I think being able to take what the science tells us, what the IPCC, the IEA, and the IRENA reports tell us about the need for no more oil and gas exploration, about the need to decarbonize electricity systems by 2030 in developed countries and 2035 in developing countries, about the need to bring forward the net zero economy-wide goals to at latest 2050. These are non-negotiable goals if we are trying to meet the goals of the Paris Agreement and ensure a livable planet for future generations. And so we as young people who are the stewards of tomorrow, we have the responsibility to speak about it, talk about it to our parents, our friends, our leaders, our teachers, and whoever else is there who needs to hear that. So critical thinking is such an important skill, and being able to stand for the truth is so critical. Now, in terms of what we do to empower young people, I think there is a suite of programs, and I'm not going to go too much into detail because there is information available on our website, and there is strong collaboration and overlap with many of the programs that my co-panelists have shared. But yeah, I think this is it for now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Benjamin. And I will go for you, Ola, on Yani. Please briefly, in 1 minute, give a message. How can young activists from the MENA region contribute to upskilling, reskilling initiatives that align with the goals tackling the climate neutral economy? So you are working on that. A message for the young activists directed to them.
Thank you for this. Actually, I love giving messages. So, as a young person from this region, and I working on a just transition, kind of like capacities and processes. The thing is, I want to tell the other people that are like me, who have vision, who have something to give to their communities. Just like take the first step, take the responsibility of bringing all you've learned and like teach yourself and like look for a network, look for someone and places to learn from, and then bring it to your community if it's your community needs it. Be the change you want to see in the world. So take the first step and be that person who bring to your communities those changes. So I started like my project, and my project is working with so many young people in my country now. So we're promoting circular economy. We're promoting so many things that my community needs. So let's be those people who can, the governments and the other institutions around the world can lean on and keen on to promote those changes. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Ola. And going for you, Dr. I would like to ask you from the global experience and lessons that the UNDP Room Centers has been privy, and there is a lot of strategies that you follow, and there is a lot of best practices, if we can see, could be adopted in the MENA region to foster the just transition. What are these best practices? What are these strategies? And how can Youth for Climate initiative serve as like a platform to these insights with the youth in MENA region?
Well, Youth for Climate, I have to say, has adopted a comprehensive approach to integrating youth in climate action. A comprehensive approach that designed on three dimensions. Well, the first is related to, as I said before, to advocacy, bringing closer youth and youth-led organization to policymakers. Like an opportunity will be the event in Rome of the next week, for instance. The second is obviously the most concrete, that is related to solution. So providing technical assistance, but also financial support, design the solutions, to design some project led by youth that actually tackle climate change. And the third thing is related to building solid partnership, specifically when it comes to public-private sector. So if we have to tackle climate change, we have to adopt, as I said, a comprehensive approach that take into account collaborating, exploring partnership with different actors, and different actors means different expertise. I think that everything can be reflected on prioritizing main issue that comes out of this exercise. And when it comes to the MENA region, I would say that, first of all, it's really important prioritizing this education and capacity building, again, targeting youth organization, young people, but also government. I think that is extremely important. The second thing is that there are like elements and actors of the private sector that that are developing a sort of like an environmental consciousness and awareness. And it's extremely important that youth and young people, when decided to step in, when decided to engage with the private sector, they go for these actors that have developed this sort of awareness, because they can be part of this, they feed this, and they work in an institution that they share the same goals. And then the third thing is, again, is raising awareness of how much is important what we do, what young people are doing for climate, what they are doing when it comes to engaging with policymakers. And this raising awareness, it has multiple layers. This has to be with peers, this has to be with government, and has to be among youth itself.
Thank you so much. And I would take from that, and also tackling again the climate finance and the technology transfer also. So going back to you, Walid, how do you see the role of climate finance in supporting the MENA region transition to renewable energy and sustainable practices? What are the strategies that you think it's essential to have effective technology transfer to the MENA region and to enhance the climate resilience to promote green infrastructure? And in 2 minutes, please.
Okay, I will try to be brief. So first, let me set the scene. So maybe in the Arab region, for example, received only 5% of the global funds, despite the fact that it's one of the most vulnerable places all over the world. And also, the Arab region needs approximately $300 billion per year, starting from 2030. And so we can see that there is a huge gap between the amount of money mobilized and the one pledge. As also, we do have that $1 billion goal, which was set and was a pledge that will be given to the developing countries, but we didn't met it yet. But we are optimistic to reach that goal. So these kind of the challenges to define the new collective quantified goals, for example, by 2025, to set the quantity, the quality of the new goal, the scope, who are going to be the donors, is so crucial and so challenging. So we are working during the next two COPs to define the new collective quantified goal. Another challenge would be maybe the access to the funds under the United Nations, like the GEF, the GCF. Since there is a lot of obstacle, the process are taking some time for some countries, the capacity building for the countries to develop a good documents and to present it to the UN so they can get a fund is still lacking. So this is also one of the challenges. Also, I can relate the problem of climate finance to the debate that is holding about the mitigation and the mitigation and adaptation. So we should go and assess the needs within all the region and see, for example, for Arab region, what is the biggest needs for adaptation and mitigation for the other region as well. We should raise our ambition for mitigation, but also we should focus, since we are, for the most of the Arab countries, we will be moving toward our just transition. So we need more investment on adaptation, on new technologies, on hydrogen, solar energy, and etc. Also, I want to relate the climate finance field to the just transition and transfer of technologies. So now we should be, let's say, updated, since there is a lot of technologies that are new on the market. We should have more capacity building for youth, for, let's say, junior people who are interested to go further and learn about all the new technologies that I had, hydrogen, generative AI, for example, machine learning, and so on. But also we should not forget that transfer of technology is also so crucial. So for the countries who have the capacities, technical and financial, it is so crucial to go and talk with their partners, stakeholders, and try to provide this kind of knowledge so we can move, all the countries can move in the same, let's say, path, in the same, let's say, speeds toward our clean energy, and maybe to end up with, so I can give just 1 minute about what we are expecting from the next COP when it comes to the finance. The GST will be developed during the next COP in UAE. It's going to be the year of GST, which refer to the global stock take. And one of the pillar is the implementation when it comes to the finance. So determining how much we need, the quality, who is going to be involved, whether the private sector, the public sector, the scope, whether we are going for adaptation, mitigation, or loss and damage. So we should start working from now so we can have unified positions as parties, and so we can deliver during the next COP and also in 2025 when we'll be going to deliver the new collective quantified goal. And I'm optimistic about that.
Great. Thank you, Alid. And going to you, Ricardo, quickly on Richard and also Alid mentioned the public-private partnerships. And I would like to ask you, from your experience and work in IRENA, how do you see the public-private partnerships could shape a crucial transformation toward just transition in MENA region?
Public-private partnership actually should be at the center of the transition in order to ensure that demands and also responses are aligned. As IRENA, we do collaborate with the private sector. We have launched actually around 2015 already the Coalition for Action, which is a very well established initiative at IRENA, where basically we bring together 100 of stakeholders, more or less 300 members are part of the Coalition for Action. And of course, they are also promoting youth engagement and youth empowerment, which again is a key element of this private and public partnership. We do the same also when we are organizing some of our events and initiatives. For example, in the coming weeks, there will be the IRENA Latin America Investment Forum, which will be actually a very good example of how the private sector is called and asked to contribute to the energy transition by working and establishing collaboration with the public sector. So again, very keen on our work, very keen also on what kind of support this partnership can bring to young people. if I can conclude with something which is not necessarily related to your question, is that as Arena, we want to again promote a different approach when working with the young people. We have been working with them since a few years now, and since the very beginning, we decided to address this generation not as the next one, but as the new one. And here we are also especially seeing young entrepreneurs, young leaders that are already now working now today. So what I want to share again is that in order to have a change also in other organizations, in other contexts, I think that young people have to start addressing themselves not as the next generation of energy leaders, of anything that you want, but as the new generation, because they are already able to make changes now and to strike also for additional changes and also to embark with new opportunities. So
thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ricardo. And finalizing with you, actually, and I would like to ask you to give a message to the young innovators how they could be part of the movement toward the just transition.
Thank you so much. There were just quick two things that I'd like to address in addition to what the experts mentioned about education, about passionate advocacy that needs to be combined with capacity building. But I think from an individual experience, what I would personally like to add is that there is a lot of detachment from policymakers and innovation when it comes to empirical data. So there is not enough statistics that showcase that what we are saying is actually practical in real sense and can have action or change at ground level. There are certain things, because this is an amazing dais to be able to address this, but this is from statistical data, is that one bamboo tree can sequester minimum 400 kgs of carbon dioxide per tree per year, 300 kgs of oxygen per tree per year generated. That is massively high as compared to a mangrove tree, which takes in a maximum of 25 to 30 kg. Now, I am saying even if it does 10% of what I say, that's still 50% higher than a mangrove or a garf, or for that matter, a eucalyptus. Every 4 kg of bamboo produces 1.2 liters of bioethanol. Every 4 kg of digested bamboo can create 4 kg of compressed natural gas. Every 1 kg of bamboo can produce 1 kilowatt of current. These are some hard statistics in terms of implementation, and that's where the detachment is from policymakers to innovation. The second thing is that governments, enterprises have a massive research and development budget for pharmacological needs, or for that matter, space exploration. But very few governments and enterprise have a very massive budget to fail when it comes to the climate agenda. So why don't we have that? Why don't we have a massive agenda for climate initiatives to fail or succeed, but at least we are trying? And that's what we need, a massive research and development budget to come up, and which is also adding up to capacity building for the youth and for advancement of technology. A, a, a mere modicum which would really not habilitate any of us to be able to excel. So we need to move with alacrity. We need to move with the support of institutions like IRENA, with governments, and more importantly, collectively, because changing behavior is not going to impact climate change in the long run, but changing enterprise, changing industry, changing the way we procure, changing the supply chain needs will actually make a massive transition with energy. And this is what we need to address collectively.
Thank you so much. And I would take this as a message to the younger innovators to work on it, empirical data, and also ensuring that we are working on the innovation from the grassroots. And as we run out of time right now, but our session will continue in Yanbu room. I would like to invite you all to join us at 10:30. And 10:30 at Yanbu room. You can see on the slide here. Join us for the Green Jobs Policy Challenge. I think we have a lot of discussion to tackle there. And I would like to thank all the panelists for their valuable contribution, and to all the esteemed guests and audience for their existence. Unfortunately, we don't have that time to have interventions, but we will have that time in the room during the policy game. So we would like to invite you all, and we will be happy to see you in like 20 minutes. And thank you so much for your participation. Thank you so much. And let's take a photo together.